Hey, 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 we're here. Oh my gosh, we're live again. How good is the Joypreneur Summit? Are you having a good time? I know you are. It has been so cool seeing all these different perspectives and how different people are building their businesses with joy and with mindset and taking all the steps necessary to like stay down that path, but do it the feel good way. I've been loving this, and I know you have too. If you have been loving it too, give me a I have in the comments. I would love to hear it. If you're just seeing this and going like, what? Who are you? What's this going through my thread? What am I doing here? Well, guess what? You can get the whole agenda of the Joypreneur Summit for free. You can see all of this training. We've got 30 experts plus, wait, bonuses at the end. Go ahead and get the agenda by looking at the link in the description. And what else you get, besides the agenda for today, and besides the agenda for the next 2 days that we've got, you also get the freebies from all these speakers. Think about all the cool stuff you're going to get for free. They've all been so generous, and we have sponsors and bonus freebies as well. So it's just such a free-for-all. And I will tell you about Teresa Paul's freebie in just a moment. And I know, thanks for the I have. I love it. Yay. Bring those down. Everybody say like, I have. I've been listening. And as if that wasn't enough, I know you're seeing all these people and you're wanting to hang out with them. And it's so much fun. And you're like, how do I get to be a member of the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club? Well, guess what? Look for the link in the description. Join the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club now. And I will send you this amazing expectation pen in the mail. You anywhere worldwide, you get this pen. It's the pen of expectation. Anything you write with it will come true. I suggest you keep it with a very special journal and you use it that way. I know you will love it. So right now, next up is Teresa Paul. Teresa Paul is a sales coach and sales strategist with 30 plus. We won't ask how many more past the plus years of experience in helping purpose-driven entrepreneurs. They turn leads into loyal clients. So if you're somebody who you're having challenge making money because you're having challenge going from interest to sale, then this interview is for you. I can hardly wait to have you meet Teresa and really understand what to do to get those sales. And so without further ado, please welcome to the stage, Teresa Paul. Yeah, the crowd. Hey, Teresa, what's up?
Dana, I'm just sitting here chatting with you today.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you know, it's nice to have your priorities, right? I'm so glad that you're here and that you're hanging out with me. And this is such a good topic to get into because, and maybe you can speak to this. I could be wrong about this, but I kind of think people are afraid of sales. Like they're a little bit afraid of being salesy. They're a little bit afraid of asking for the sale. They're a little bit afraid of like, if they try to make sales, they look too pushy, all of that stuff. Like, can you speak to that a little bit? Like how most clients are when they come to you? Is that the situation where they're at?
Yeah, I think most clients have hit their sales ability limit, whatever that is. And it's going to be different for everybody. But I think there is this sense of fear around it, like the old used car sales guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to come up and I'm going to make you buy a car and you're never going to get to leave.
Right.
And so the first thing I talk about is if you're feeling salesy or you're feeling pushy, it's because you're talking to somebody who's not ready to buy.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
When somebody's ready to buy, there's no push at all. The conversation just keeps going. And so learning the buying signs is critical. Learning to know when somebody's just curious and when they're asking the questions that they're actually interested in moving to the sale.
Oh, okay. Well, you just set me up perfectly for the next question, because then like, what are the buying signs? Like, how would I know if somebody's interested in taking that next step?
There are many, many, many buying signs, but let me just give you a few to get you started. So the first one is, what are the level of questions they're asking? Right? Are they curiosity around just the topic? Like they don't understand what you're talking about? Or is it curiosity around how you deliver? Or is it curiosity around your transformation? So where are the questions? When the questions become more personal to your business, that's a buying sign.
Oh, hold on now. I want to get this. I want to really dial this in, what you just said. So if they're asking vague questions, they're not all that interested. But if they start asking really specific questions, like about the transformation or who you can help or something personal, then they're asking those questions because it's almost like they're interviewing you, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if somebody's talking to you about your business, here's what I say. They're either a maybe or a yes.
Oh,
Right? They're not a
that's
no.
good. Yeah, that's good.
Your job is to answer the maybe questions to get them to yes.
Oh,
So
boy,
if
that
you
makes it sound so much easier. Don't
it
you all
really is.
agree? Like, that sounds so much nicer, like you're just answering the maybe questions. That doesn't sound like you're getting rejected either. Like, I think most people, the reason they don't like sales is they have that fear of rejection. Like, if somebody doesn't want what I have right now, then they're rejecting me. What do you
Right.
think about that?
Right. And it's never that. If you think
Yeah.
about if you go to a restaurant and the waiter or waitress comes over and says, would you like dessert? No, thank you. Do they feel like put out because you've just rejected them because you didn't take their dessert? No. We all make decisions from our own place of being ready. But that's a really interesting question. If you push them too early and they say no, you're done. You can never get the sales back.
Right.
Right? And
Well,
so
so
that's
how
why
do you know, how do you not push somebody too early? Like what, it feels like almost like it's a little bit, is it like a dance or like dating, or what is it like to, like, how do you know when to go in? I guess what you're saying, let me see if I've got this right. You're
okay.
saying answer their questions and they'll tell you when they're ready based on the questions they're asking.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. But the first two questions, okay, if you can get these two questions answered, you are already halfway there. Why? Why are they talking to you? Why did you decide to have this conversation with me right now? And why now? Why now is this a problem that you have decided that you need solved?
Okay. I like this because basically, if you ask people those two questions, they will sell themselves. Like, they'll say, well, here's why I've got to get this fixed now. Repeat
They move
those for a
themselves
second.
forward yet.
Yeah.
Why?
So why and why now? Why are you interested in this and why now?
Why now? When
Wow.
they're
How
moving
easy
themselves
is that? Did you all write that down? That is really good. That's really, really good.
yeah, if you mastered that, you can sell more immediately. Because if they say why now, then the question becomes when do you want to start?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So when do you want to get started? You're not asking them to buy anything. You're not even asking them to buy you. You're just saying, well, then when would you like to get started with this?
Yeah, right. Wow, those are so good and so easy questions, and they're not scary either. Like,
Oh,
they're really easy, not scary questions. How important do you think it is when you go into it? This is something I've seen, and I'm guessing you've seen it too, is it feels to me like a lot of times when people are starting to sell, they aren't even really clear on what they're selling yet. Like, they don't really
oh.
even, they don't know how to articulate it. And so do you have any advice about that? And maybe speak to the importance of it too.
Clarity is the linchpin for everything you do, from the point of how do you get them to notice me to how do you get them to buy me, right? And so it's a simple case of less is more. Be super clear on as little about your business as you can, because once they sign up, you can give them all the rest.
Right.
Not too much.
Now I want to see if I got that right. Be super clear on as little as you can. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay, explain what that means. I would
So,
like to.
so I know you. You have a book. You've been doing this for many years. I've been through your programs. But the one thing you always talk about is if you want to know more, join the PME club.
Right.
Right? That's what you
Mhm.
said.
Yeah.
Right? We've got positive mindset entrepreneurs. If that is you, join the club. Find out all the rest of the stuff. Now, do you go in there and say, there's a whole column on the left with 52 items on it, and every single thing you ever want to do, and everything you want to launch, and every interview I've ever done? No.
Yeah,
Because if you
right.
did that, all of a sudden I'm drinking from the water hose and I'm for the fire hose, and I can't do it anymore. So
I
you do it
see.
perfectly. You're like, come and see. Pick what you want. Play where you want.
I see. That makes perfect sense. And if you are clear on your offer, that also means being clear on who needs your offer, I would assume.
Correct.
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you speak to that a little bit about how people could start to figure out who their ideal client is or who's best suited for their offer?
So I do it a little bit differently than most people. I look for people that I want to work with, right?
Good.
So
Smarty pants.
if
That's so
they're
good.
if they're a vibrational match to me and an energetic match to me,
Yeah.
then we're going to win. Regardless of their industry or their age or whatever they're doing, if we're a vibrational match, we're both going to win. And if we're not, again, regardless of the demographics, we're not.
You know what, y'all? That is a golden nugget right there. That's it. Decide who you want to work with. Decide where you want them to be vibrating, where you're vibrating. And by that, it's like energetic, emotional, heartfelt, mindset wise. And guess what? It just happens. Then you don't even need to sell. Like, it's crazy. That's such good advice, Teresa. Take that to the bank, y'all. That was really, really good. And so, how do you feel about people who learn from others and bless their hearts, all these experts out there who are kind of telling them like pitch from a script or, say these certain words? It feels to me like so many people get so stressed out they don't show up like their true selves. And so how important is it just to be you when you're selling something?
It's critical. Even when I was a professional salesperson and my only job was to sell, I showed up as myself because that's who I had to be throughout the relationship. Right. And so if I showed up as somebody different and they bought that, then I couldn't hold on to that. So and I had to learn that. Like, I didn't get it in the beginning. Like, I was like Bambi with shaking knees in my little notebook and talking to these people who've been in business for 100 years. And I'm like, I can help you grow your business. I've been doing it for 5 minutes. I mean, it was awful. I can tell you stories that were just awful, but I kept showing up. I don't know why. That was my job. So I kept showing up, and pretty soon I got better. And I started saying more things. And I started learning by the questions they asked. They asked me a question I couldn't answer. Somebody else asked that question later. I damn sure could answer it because I learned from the process. So you have to practice. You have to get in front of people, make the mistakes, and practice.
So it's kind of like show up as your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
do look for the signs, let them ask the questions, but then you've got to ask for the sale at some point. So just keep doing it and don't consider that when people don't sign up that it's not because you didn't do a good job. It's that you're learning how to talk about your offer. And really, it's kind of funny, isn't it? Because we don't think about that you have to learn how to talk about your offer. And where else do you learn it except to do it, to talk about your offer? It's not like you can read a book on learn how to talk about my offer. You have to just fail forward, like they say, like try different things, see what works, see what doesn't for you, and try to be yourself in the process. I just feel like this sounds like something doable. What piece do you think mindset plays in the whole mix of it?
Well, for me, it has allowed me to determine like who I want to work with, right? When I worked for somebody else, I had to take all of the clients, no matter who they were. But hanging out with positive people, I now have like this invisible sign that says no grumpy people allowed. Like, if you're grumpy, I'm done, right? Even if I take your money, it's not going to last and you're going to make me miserable. And so I only work with positive people, people who have a growth mindset, who want to learn, who want to grow, who think, yeah, let's try something new so we can figure this out. That's where I shine, and that's the only way that I can help people.
And you know what? You can do that too. Do what Teresa is saying here. Like, just make a decision. That's it. This is who I'm going to work with. I'm going to work with this type of person. This is the person I'm attracting. And you know what? You tell your brain that, and now you start to see more of those people. So, Teresa, that's just spot on. How do you use it in your own business or in the sales process? How do you use what kind of practices do you use to keep yourself feeling good and fired up and connecting and present and all of that stuff?
Well, I figured out what lights me up, and talking to people lights me up. I mean, I figured that out when if that wasn't the case, I never would have made it in sales. And
Yeah.
so I just have to talk to more people. And if I don't have somebody on the books that says, hey, I might be ready to buy, I find somebody to talk to, because that gets my energy up, that gets me up. Or I go to the club and I start talking to people in the club.
Right.
It gets my energy up and it brings me out, right? That's what brings me out of my shell, out of my funk, sitting in my own little office in here. But you have to figure out what that thing is. It's not always talking to people. If that's really hard for you, don't do it. If it doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. It might be posting. It might be videos. It might be like meetup groups. Whatever makes you feel good. Well, you know this. You talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
If you're feeling good interacting with other people, then you're in the sales process.
Yeah.
Because I talk about what I do all the time, right? I'll go to get my hair cut and I'll say, what do you do for marketing? How do you get new people in here? What do you do? Right? I just ask them questions about their business and they start talking about it. And I start telling them, my experience. And
do you know what, Teresa? That is actually a kind of a secret sales technique. That's what I did to build my first business. I didn't really know I was doing it. I was doing it kind of by default or kind of by accident. But I would go get my hair done and they would say, how are you doing? How are things going? And I would be like, oh my gosh, my business is going so great. And I would, talk about the things I was excited about in my life. When somebody says, how are you? You've got a choice of going like, oh, Tom just got laid off, or, how are you? How are things going? Oh, Susie's graduating next week, or you can share your enthusiasm for what you're doing. And that tidbit that you just gave, if people just did that, like just got excited about their own business and wherever they went in their life showed up and talked about it, or in your case, you've got a built-in thing to ask them, like, what are you doing for marketing? It's like you're marketing all the time. You're getting customers all the time, but you don't know that you're doing it. People are you're having a conversation with somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's
you have to love talking about your business. I love talking about sales and marketing. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's crazy. But I love it because I've been so entrenched in it for so long. But I equate it to, okay, so let's say, Dana, you said, Teresa, I'm coming to Colorado. I'm going to stop and visit. Where should we have dinner? I'm going to say, oh, I have the best restaurant. And I'm going to sell you that restaurant like it's my job because I love it. And I want you to have that experience. So you need to bring that into your work, right? You need to bring that into, you have to be in my orbit because it is amazing here.
Totally. You have to sell yourself on your own stuff. You would do that if you were referring a movie, if you were referring a book, if you were referring a restaurant. Like, get excited about your own business as much as you are about that latest movie you saw. It's like so obvious and it makes so much sense. Yeah. You just said sales and marketing. Do you want to give people a definition of what the difference is between those things?
Sure. So marketing is outreach, right? It's to let people know who you are, what you do, and why they should even be interested. And it's key that you start showing up real here in your marketing so that it translates into your sales, so people get you. So in your marketing, forget what all the gurus tell you. Do whatever feels right, because marketing is about qualifying and disqualifying. If somebody doesn't like you, get rid of them early. So you can.
I really like that. And that's also a golden nugget, y'all. Hear that word, disqualifying. You want to repel the people you don't want to work with. So if you're yourself and they don't like it, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out.
No, that's a beautiful place to be. Thanks for playing. See you later. And at any point in the process, if you decide that this person isn't a good fit for you, it doesn't feel good to talk to them, cut them loose. Yeah. Don't think, okay, I've got to get that money in. You've changed your mindset now to a desperation, and it's not going to work.
Totally. So marketing is outreach, getting the word out about your business, and sales is
then bringing them in. Actually, it's applying for a job, right? Dana, I can help you with your sales. Do you want to hire me? Do you want to? It's applying for a job. So you need to talk to them as if you're in a job interview, as if you need to put your best foot forward, talk about the transformation, get them excited about it. I even talk about it like it's pictures of your grandkids. Like if you go somewhere and you've got pictures of your grandkids, not everybody's going to be interested, right? They don't have grandkids, or your cat like you. But you know what? You show them anyway, right? Because you think that they need to see this.
You have to see a picture of my cat.
This is my cat. I'm not into cats. I don't care. Look at my cat. He's so cute. That's how you have to do your business.
So it's like those that like your cat will reveal themselves.
Then they become your friends because now you're cat friends. Right?
And you know what else too? This is funny, this whole disqualification thing, because you do like get rid of the riffraff and suddenly you're surrounded by only people who are interested in your cat pictures. In other words, for those of you that aren't getting the analogy, they're interested in your offer. You know, if you're talking about your business, you're talking about your offer, and they stay, they're interested. You know, they want to hear about it. They want to hear more. Do you have any mindset rituals that you do before you go into a sales meeting or a discovery call with somebody? Like, do you have anything you do to fire yourself up?
Yes, absolutely. So it's really important that you hold on to yourself in the conversation, right? It's a 50-50 conversation. You can't lose yourself and let them take it over, and you can't over dominate it, right?
Oh, okay.
And so it's a mantra: I'm showing up as me. I'm going to show up and shine. I am going to be me. And if they like it, great. If not, it'll be a really short call, and I'm good with either one.
I really like that. I'm going to show up and shine, and I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. I'm going to show up and shine. It's really like, it's almost kind of musical, like really. And it feels like if you would say those mantras, you know, several times before you go in. Do you also sell yourself on your offer before you go in?
You know, my offer is a little bit different because I do some one-on-one coaching and group coaching. I work with people where they are. So I don't necessarily have an offer, but I know depending on what you need. See, that's my sales is a little bit more in depth because I really need to find out what you need and customize an offer for that.
I get it.
So it's a little bit more, but you know, at my level, I'm okay doing that because I'm, you know, qualified to do that. And so that's what I do. But if when I have an offer, if they have contacted me because of my offer, absolutely be crystal clear. Know that you've answered every objection, either in your offer or in your bonuses. And then I'm going to give you a little tip that most people are never going to do. If they say no, say, okay, I respect that. Can you tell me why you said no so I can, you know, work on the next person?
Smart.
What is it that made you say no? Maybe you could turn it into a yes, but even if you didn't, it's an objection you were not able to overcome that you can go work on.
That's really good to know too. What a good tidbit piece of information. And I'll bet you sometimes they probably even say things like, you know, if there was more one-on-one with this, I probably would have said yes. And then you can go like, well, guess what? We can give you a bonus of a one-on-one or something. You know what I mean? Like if you have not having information and just being left to your own devices of your own mind spiraling as to why they said no, is never the way to go. It's always good to just ask and find out and get the answer. Yeah. It makes total
if you
sense.
have a live event and some people say yes and some people say no, send an email. Hey, it looks like you're not interested because you didn't get back to me. That's fine. But can you help me out?
Yeah,
Tell me why.
right.
What didn't I include or what was missing from this? And if you get 2 or 3 of them back, that's gold.
Yeah, this is all so good. I love all of the comments coming in too. Loving this. Why did you say no? How helpful. How many of you are going to start implementing that immediately? Like just asking, why did you say no? And finding out, because, oh my gosh, can you imagine how streamlined you could get if you just did what Teresa told you, right? Great advice. Everybody's saying great advice. I love that. Today they're implementing. That's awesome. I love that. So good. Thank you so much for that. So, Teresa, the last thing I want to ask you about is, I know you've been known to say that you can trust yourself. You know more about your business than anybody else. Could you just give us a little more on that? Give us a little rah-rah about that? Because I think sometimes people don't trust themselves. And so what do you say to that?
You know, I find myself writing into that too. When I go to write a post that I think I'm an authority on, I think somebody's going to know more about this and they're going to call me on it. But what I realize is maybe there's a few people that know more. There's a whole bunch of people that don't know as much as me that need that information, and they need it the way I'm saying it. They've heard it 100 times before. Some of the stuff I've said today, you have heard 100 times before, but I say it differently.
Yeah.
Right? And I reach the people that respond and resonate with the way that I say things.
Yeah, and not only the way that you say things, but also they might be in a different place. If you had met them a year ago, they might not have even heard you, but now you're meeting them at the right place and right time. So it's good stuff. Last thing, do you have any parting advice for people? It can be, your favorite daily habit, your favorite practice. It can be, words of wisdom if they're going into a sales call, like any parting advice for somebody listening today who wants to just be better at this. I would like to be better at sales. What would you say to them?
Practice, 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 practice. Practice in the mirror, practice with your family, but practice with strangers. Practice in the grocery line. Practice. I mean, you have to get confident enough to say, hey, while we're waiting for our groceries, I'm an ADHD coach, and this is what I offer. If you were looking for something like that, what would your questions be? Right? Or do you know anybody with ADHD? And what do
Seriously.
you think? Yes.
Seriously, it's so, and people, because they do know people, and it is fun, and you can just start up the best conversations, and it improves the quality of your life. You
Yes.
start connecting with people and having better conversations, and practice, 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 practice. It's so funny because if we were going to learn a language or we were going to learn how to play an instrument, none of us would think that we'd be able to pull that guitar out of the case and play it first thing. But for some reason with sales, we think we should just be able to be so good at it instantly. So terrific advice, Teresa. I just love that. Thank
Well,
you
and the
so
second
much.
one would be get a coach or
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't teach you how to sell, but helps you learn what's missing in your sales process. Because everybody sells differently. I can't teach you my way because I've been doing this for 30 plus years, but I can teach you how to do it your way, right? Based on your
Nice.
experience with your people. So find somebody who, I call myself a sales strategist because I work with you to come up with a strategy. I'm not going to give you a strategy. I don't know yet.
Yeah, that's right. Find somebody. So when you find a coach, find somebody who's going to work with your style and not just try to cram their style down your throat. So that's so good. Thank you, Teresa.
You're
This is
welcome.
so good. And I love Light It Up. If you liked hearing from Teresa in the comments, can I get oh yeah, I love that. That was so good. I know I did. How interesting is it? It's so core to our business sales, the way we sell, how we sell, the way we present an offer, how we close, all of that stuff. And yet everything she said, you have to really remind yourself, yeah, it's okay. It's okay for me to be me. It's okay for me to do it my way. It's okay if I disqualify people. I can trust myself to do it my way. How refreshing. Isn't that so good to hear and to know that you can move forward and do it your way and say those mantras and feel good, all that good stuff. So remember, you can get Teresa's freebie, and I'm going to tell you, this is hot, hot. Ready? Your secret to your irresistible call to action. You know how they always say have a call to action? Well, this is a whole free guide that's going to help you craft your call to action so that you make it irresistible and people want to buy it. You're going to grab their attention. You're going to spark their curiosity. They're going to feel like saying yes. It's going to go from where they're just that mildly interested to where they actually convert. And that's all in your call to action. And she's giving it to you for free. How do you get it? Look for that link in the description. When you look for that link in the description, you will get the full list of everybody in the summit, all their freebies, including Teresa's, and including all the rest of the speakers from today, and including all the people still coming up. Plus, we have our sponsors like Katrina Peeler. She's giving you the 3-minute body distressor and re-energizer. So you can grab that as well. And while you're looking at that link in the description, remember, when you join the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club, you will get the positive, you will not only get the club, but you will also get the pen of expectation in the mail. We ship worldwide. Anything you write with this pen will come true. Here's some good mantras from Teresa. Things are always working out for me. My business grows every day. I'm attracting my best clients. I'm attracting my best clients. Like, really hear those mantras. They're so fun and they're so like, just make you feel like, yes, yes, I can do this, right? Next up, we're coming up in 31 minutes, top of the hour. I am going to be talking to Julie Krasinski. And guess what? Julie is a heart centered coach. She's a creator of the Joyful CEO Life community. She spent 30 years in direct sales and now she switched to a coaching business. And she's got such a good story to tell about how that journey happened with her. Not to mention that she helps entrepreneurs find clarity, energy, and joy. Is this right on target with the Joypreneur Summit? I know you're going to be here. I will see you in 31 minutes. Oh my gosh, we're having some fun now, aren't we? I love it. And we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.